now you got Virginia that their athletic director started asking some questions, and then you turn around and then Virginia Tech said something to Jim Phillips about the college football playoff committee portion of it. All of this wasn't publicized, but it's the conversations that are happening that are not public that are the most fun. So when you've got someone like Virginia Tech, you've got someone, and Miami will never admit this, but you've got Miami's athletic director asking these questions. Hey, why didn't we stick up for Florida State as a conference when they were 13-0 and won the ACC championship? Because if you won't stand up for a Florida State, which could arguably be the biggest football brand in the conference, if you're not going to stick up for them to get them in the college football playoff, then what makes us believe that you'll do it for us if we go on a run? So when those questions get asked, and then you've got Jim Phillips coming out and just completely, I don't know if he doesn't remember 5 months ago or if he's trying to insert a new memory from something that didn't happen. Maybe he dreamed of doing this at one point, but he says that he came out and stood up for Florida State against the college football committee and all of these BS comments that he made. You you barely did it today publicly when you stated that you came out and you stood for Florida State and said that they should be in the playoffs, but you never said that publicly anywhere as it was happening. The only thing that you said is congratulations to Florida State on winning an ACC championship, and them being left out of the college football playoff is outrageous. That's all it was said. That was after the fact. After the top four were announced, all of that. But you saw a commissioner from SEC. You saw the commissioner from the Big Ten. You saw the commissioner from uh, wherever the hell Texas and them came from, Big 12, whatever it was, Pac 12, whatever they were. They were out there on ESPN, Fox, and CBS saying why their team should be in. Well, they only lost one game, or they only did this. They beat the number one team in the country. They won the SEC title. How can you leave them out? There was multiple conversations that all of the other conference commissioners were doing where you had the ACC was completely quiet. Now he's stating because it's a 12-team playoff that the ACC has to get multiple teams into the playoff. We're not going to get multiple teams into the playoff. It's almost impossible with the way
I
that it's
should say,
designed.
thanks to
So,
you. Well,
and he's like, "Well, I'm not happy with the negotiations of how it went, but I negotiated hard." So you're just telling us how you failed, but you tried really, really hard. That's why there are those that say and there are those that do. And Phillips and the ACC is nothing but a conference that says that they try and they do their best and they're not happy with the outcome any more than the members are and all of the BS that follows along with that. Just say it. You're a puppet to ESPN and you're a puppet underneath SEC and your joke is a conference. You can't do anything for anyone. You can't even help yourself in this matter because you go around and say the most outrageous, ignorant things after the fact that nothing was said before, and you sit right here on national television and lie and say that you fought for Florida State to get in the playoff. It's a bold faced lie. So the question was asked. Now they didn't publicize this on or ACC Network, but the question was asked. There will be an article come out about this. So what exactly did you say publicly or not publicly to the College Football Playoff Committee to try to get Florida State in? No comment. Wow. But you just told everybody on the network that how does this work? How do you have no comment now? So there, Phillips is nothing more than another puppet. He's gonna say whatever he's told to say, do whatever he's told to do. He's a do boy. He's a terrible representative for all the members of the ACC. The ACC is a terrible representative to be considering themselves a conference. Um, the whole thing with the the law situation that's going on with Florida State, North Carolina, or the one that's going on It doesn't matter anymore. Why do people, when I say that, I've had many questions of, why does it not matter anymore? What's the problem? What's changing? Just trust me when I tell you it does not matter what happens anymore. The rest of it will take care of itself. How can that happen? All I can tell you is you're going to have one extra member July 1st. The other two can't come until August the 2nd. So it won't matter here in about 2 or 3 weeks. It just doesn't matter anymore. So everyone gave the ACC this opportunity at these meetings to try to gain some ground, show face, do something. And I'm telling you that there wasn't one member of this conference that was pleased with what they received. They all have figured out we're looked at as less than. So, and that's because of y'all being looked at as less than. It's not because of our brand. It's not because of Florida State's brand. It's not because of anyone else, but that you guys can't do your due diligence and do your job and represent us the way that we're supposed to be represented.
He even went to like talking about repeating ESPN's talking points about injuries and we need to look at scheduling and things. I was just sitting there just like, you SOB, man. I agree with what Chris said 100%. I'm glad he got here to say that because right on the nail, nail right on the head.
So to extend on what Chris is saying, if I'm interpreting this correctly, because you three, meaning Chris, George, James, started making these comments when you guys started to hear the comments out of guys like Kirk Herbstreit 3-4 weeks before the end of the season. Before Jordan Travis was injured, you guys started to make comments on here, and I'm sure you talked about it much more on your own platforms, that was the time for Jim Phillips to see what was going on. Mm-hmm. If he was truly acting as a conference commissioner autonomously apart from ESPN, but if he was just playing along with, okay, well, ESPN's driving this and we're going to get what we get. But if he was acting on behalf of his conference, or I can't believe he's that ignorant and naive. He's smarter than that. He's arrived at this position for a reason. He's smarter than that. So he should have been out in front of the rhetoric to say, this is starting to set up in a bad way. I got to get ahead of this and start really pushing, driving this narrative, getting it out there in the public that people know this is how this is going down. And I can't allow this. And we need to start fighting before the battle's lost and then throw up our hands and say, this is outrageous.
Without a doubt, man. It really hit ahead before that UNA game. They did a whole 10-minute segment on College Game Day about why the ACC should be the conference left out and all the things. And this is before Jordan Travis was ever even injured. You look at championship weekend, they had the SEC commissioner in studio at halftime of the Florida State game giving a fiery speech on why Bama should be in over Florida State. Jim Phillips nowhere to be found. Like you said, weeks before, it was obvious kind of what was being set up. Whether you want to call it just cheering for your team, putting your opinion out there, whatever Kirk Herbstreit's out as he gives himself, or all the people like Josh Pate who kind of changed their opinion, Greg McElroy, these different people. There was obviously a campaign out there for Florida State to be left out. And there was a campaign for them to be in, but it was 100% from the fans. And you're only going to get so much from Norvell and the players because they're locked in doing what they're supposed to do. And we've talked about it before, preaching the system of the climb and working and doing all the things right. Like his guys did exactly what they were supposed to do. You couldn't ask anything more from them. They did it all. So it's like it was up to somebody, whether it be somebody with a conscience in that playoff room, be it the commissioner, not the commissioner, the NC State athletic director that was in that room, Jim Phillips, whoever it is, as an entity, the ACC at a corporate level did not support FSU whatsoever, didn't do really anything to go on any kind of promotional tour for ACC to be conference champions. When you have a team that's in the top like that, up for a playoff, you see the SEC commissioners, Big Twin, like Chris was saying, you go to ESPN, it's like a big deal. You go on like nightly talk shows, all the car washes and things, and you talk about how Florida State, they're the team to beat. It was just none of that. He was absolutely silent. And it's really sickening to hear him. But I love those, kind of behind the scenes quotes and questions that Chris had, and I'm sure, like he alluded to, like I'm sure it's the straw that broke the camel's back. You know, they're asking like, "What the hell? Why didn't we do this? Why didn't we do that?" Now that we're looking back on it, man, this is sure, screwed up. So, at the very least, even the people that were in on it and colluding to, get this thing stretched out, keep the things the same way they are, they've got to imagine, well, shit, when Florida State and Clemson are gone, I might be the next biggest thing around. So, what are they going to do for me when I'm in that spot? So, excuse my language, but
And if you're a
that's how I
conference
feel about it.
commissioner, you can get airtime whenever you want it. You could be
Anytime.
calling the Colin Cowherd show one day. He'll put you on. You could be making the rounds. Exactly right.